Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday. It's Friday, Robin. Friday. Years ago, I used to make some extra money for myself by doing sketches of like pencil portraits of people, kind of like the thing you see in the theme parks.
Yes.
And I did them at the Hilton Hotel here in Ocala. I did it in the lobby. It was a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
And down the hallway, or whatever you want to say, was a big parrot cage, and there was an African gray parrot in that cage. And the parrot had an unbelievable vocabulary.
Yeah.
It could say so many things.
Sweetie Pie.
Sweetie Pie was the name of the bird, yeah.
Yes.
And Sweetie Pie would talk all the time if nobody was there. And so sometimes I'd be sitting there in my place waiting for customers to come and want their picture. And because there'd be nobody down by the bird cage, the bird would be talking up a storm. I mean, and talking and you could recognize who he was imitating sometimes.
Yes.
You if you knew who the hotel manager was, you could hear him imitating him. You could hear him imitating the ladies. It was amazing. Well, he also knew how to do this. He knew how to do that.
He did.
Knew how to do that. Okay. So I was sitting there one day, and this is absolutely true. These two cute ladies walked past, and Sweetie Pie went, right? Mm-hmm. And they looked at me, and I said, I promise it was the bird. I promise it was the bird. Anyway, it was. I love that bird. So we have a book, and it's about African gray and some chickens, and it's a mystery, and it's written by our guest, Betty Jean Craige. She is a columnist for the Athens Banner Herald with her column Cosmo Talks. She's a documentary producer. She's a university professor emerita of comparative literature and director of emerita of the Wilson Center for Humanities and Arts at the University of Georgia. I'm not sure what the word emerita means. She's an award-winning teacher, the co-founder of the Delta Prize for Global Understanding, and she's written this book that'll make you want to keep turning the pages.
Yes.
Which is what your job is if you're an author. Fairfield's Auction is the name of the book. It's a Witherspoon murder mystery novel. Betty Jean Craige. Good morning, Betty Jean. How are you?
Good morning. I loved your story about Sweetie Pie because I have an African gray named Cosmo who talks intelligently.
Isn't that amazing how they do that?
Oh, yeah. She doesn't just mimic, though she does use the voice of whomever's visiting. But she talks intelligently and asks me where I'm going to go in the morning and says, Cosmo, want to go to work? Cosmo, want to go in a car? That sort of thing. And that's why I put an African gray into my second Witherspoon mystery, Fairfield's Auction.
Oh, so this is a continuation of another book.
Yes, the first book was called Downstream. Actually, my column in the Athens Banner Herald got discontinued, and so I was having lunch with a local novelist who's a friend of mine, Terry Kay, and he said, well, write fiction. And I said, I don't know how to write fiction. He said, sure, you can write fiction. I can. And so then I realized I'd spent my life reading murder mysteries, so I invented a town in North Georgia named Witherspoon. I just love North Georgia.
Where do you live?
I live in Athens, Georgia.
Where's Athens? Where's Athens in Georgia?
Athens is about 60 miles east of Atlanta. It's where the University of Georgia is.
Okay. So that's North Georgia, then. Wouldn't that be considered North Georgia?
North of Athens, there are the mountains.
Okay.
And so I set my mysteries in the mountains.
Okay.
And the first mystery, Downstream, was sort of about the pharmaceutical pollution of our environment. All my mysteries have real murders in them, though.
Real murders?
Expert murder, yeah.
And so that must stem from your work as a journalist.
Well, yeah, I just like to learn new things, and so it seemed fun to try to write a murder mystery. And I like the second one, this one we're talking about now, Fairfield's Auction, much better than the first. And so because I was interested in North Georgia, I got interested in the Cherokee civilization that occupied the area for some 1,000 years before white settlers came and killed them off or marched them to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's part of our history we should never forget and remember that we weren't exactly nice, were we?
We were not nice at all.
No.
And a lot of the times when we're not nice, we don't tell about it in the history books to
Right.
young people.
Right.
So I discovered it fairly late in life, but it's part of my book.
So,
Part of the trilogy. There's going to be a third book next year, and they're all about the Cherokees.
so is that part of what you do as a novelist? I mean, you want to tell a good story, but you also want to make maybe a point?
Yes. I want to tell a good story that people enjoy reading and turn the pages. And I like mysteries because I like for the reader to be really engaged in solving the mystery. It seems like mysteries are more interactive than just histories or academic books.
Did you did you
Hi, Robin.
hi did you actually go to some of the Cherokee tribe members to interview them about their heritage and the pottery, the artifacts?
No, well, I did go to Cherokee Village. It's in Cherokee, North Carolina. My books are really not history books. I refer to Cherokee events and Cherokee culture a lot. I've visited North Georgia innumerable times and watched Cherokee dances. I watched a Cherokee dance in a parking lot, and that just made me feel so sad that this glorious culture is reduced to Cherokee dancers in a parking lot trying to make a little money.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
That's awful sad.
Does the African gray, getting back to the bird, does it come from Africa, or is that just a name we give it?
Oh, the African gray parrot comes from Africa, and the reason they're such good talkers is that that in the wild the babies stay with the parents for a whole year and learn the calls from their parents.
Oh, really?
So now with digital recording equipment, we found out that every African gray baby family has a slightly different accent, and African gray flocks. One African gray flock will have a slightly different accent from another African gray flock.
Oh, that's interesting.
We
have an bird here.
You do have a bird?
No, I mean in this part of Florida we have a bird called the bird. It sits in the tree, and you say, "Are you a cat?" And it say, And are you a dog? And then you say, "Are you a bird?" You say, well, "What do you mean you're not a bird? You are a bird." Okay, if you say so.
I bet it's related to the crow.
It seems to have a parallel, though, to the story to the bird, because they're all within the same family or within the same flock. And then you have the murder that happened. And then you also have the third parallel about the chickens. That's a questioning line, too.
Yes. And ever since I arrived in Georgia in 1973, I've followed chicken trucks and dreamed of liberating all those chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started writing fiction, I thought I can liberate all those chickens. And so I did get into the issue of how humane or inhumane we are to the animals we eat. And I must admit, I still eat chicken.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
But I feel bad.
Do you really?
Oh, my bird eats chicken.
How bad do you feel, though? I mean, you eat it and you say, "Oh man, why am I chewing this thing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that once with the fish. I saw Robin's brother has a fish pond.
Yeah.
And they caught all these fish.
Catfish.
Caught all these catfish, and then they killed them right there and cut their heads off, and then he fried them up, and I don't know. I just saw his face look at me when he died, you know?
What was he thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since these are since your books are now based on actual murders, do you go through the paperwork, or do you check out with the families?
No, my books are centered on murders that I invented.
Oh, I see. Okay, I misunderstood that because it was so real reading the book.
Thank you. No, I invented the whole story, but in all my mysteries, I've set them in. Well, I've set them in the future, about a year or two from now, but I've also referred to real people, and so it looks like the characters in my book know the real politicians and
Right.
Cherokee leaders. The third book, which is called Dam Witherston, DAM, which will be out in a year, gets into genetic ancestry, to show where we come from and whom we're related to. And that's really interesting because in North Georgia, there are a whole lot of people with Cherokee blood in them.
Oh, how fascinating is that?
Yeah. Let's take a little break, and we're really enjoying getting to know you, Betty Jean. But I want to be sure that we're fair to the book. So on the other side, let's kind of talk about the book, the story in the book, and let the listeners know so that they can make a decision whether they will buy it or not. Perhaps take it to the beach. Not today because it's raining.
It's wonderful.
It'd be a good beach book.
Yeah, so let's take a little break and we'll catch up on the weather and a few commercials, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. We'll see clouds and breaks of sun this Friday with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around. Any thunderstorm can produce hard downpours and damaging wind gusts, the high 81 to 85. For Friday night, mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm, mainly early, though 66 to 70. Saturday, mostly cloudy with a shower and thunderstorm or two, especially in the afternoon, the high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Want to learn more about your furnace or air conditioner? Tune in this Saturday for free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com. Saturday, free tips and expert advice how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock, 73 degrees here at the studios of The Source, WOCA. A good day to stay indoors because it looks like it's raining. And maybe not now, but it was raining anyway. There's a 100% chance of rain. This is the day that you changed your mind about going to the beach.
Yeah.
So, I think my preferred time to read a book is not on the beach. I'm not a book on the beach guy. I'm a book when it's raining and I can't go to the beach guy.
Yeah.
I like those kind of days. But plenty of people read books on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
We saw them Wednesday.
Sure.
Betty Jean Craige is on the phone, and she has written a book called Fairfield's Auction. It's a Witherston murder mystery. Auctioning off Cherokee artifacts does not promote longevity, it says on the cover of the book. Betty Jean, give us a thumbnail sketch or like a movie trailer version of the story in Fairfield's Auction.
Well, it starts off with an auction of Cherokee artifacts and then some contentious arguments about whether that's appropriate or not, especially from some young Cherokee men there. And the auctioneer is a person who also auctions off an African gray parrot at the end, which one of my characters buys to save the parrot's life. And then there's a mysterious man named Alpha who hires people to do little and expensive burglaries, and he pays them by buying them gift certificates anonymously through Amazon.com. And so the idea is that he has a team of people who do burglaries and earn money for him, and they don't know who he is. Anyway, the situation takes place in a blizzard in this town where everybody gets stuck, and the chicken truck gets stuck, and all the chickens get liberated, and that sort of thing. But there are several themes running through the book. One is, whether how we mistreat animals whom I consider little feathery or furry persons with souls,
right.
And also how we treat other humans, especially people whom we've conquered, like the Cherokees, and we auction off their artifacts to the highest bidder, who are usually, and the highest bidder is usually a wealthy person who probably is not Cherokee. Anyway, so those are serious themes, but my book is very funny. I mean, it's
does the humor come from the bird?
Well, the humor comes from the way I've written the book, I think.
Okay.
The characters are all slightly eccentric, but for years the rest of the country got their idea about Georgia from Flannery O'Connor and other brilliant writers who wrote about the weird people who live here. They all seem. I read Flannery O'Connor and other Georgia writers before I came here, and I came from Texas, went to school at the University of Washington, and I thought maybe everybody was below average in intelligence. And so in Witherston, this town I invented, everybody's above average. They're kind of quirky and funny, but nobody's stupid, and they're all, except for the murderer, good people.
Now, when you make up characters like that, how do you keep track of them all? Like, how do you not make a mistake and give one guy the personality of the other guy, and then in the editing process you go, oh my gosh, I made him look like Billy?
Well, first place, I keep a file on my computer of who the characters are and what cars they drive, and
so they're like real people. They become like real people to you, then, don't they?
Oh yeah, and I sort of live in the novels, and sometimes at the end of a writing session, I have to sort of jerk myself back to reality. But one of my friends who read the book had one complaint. She said I named all the animals and named all the people, and the animals had some people names. And so she had a little hard time figuring out who the chickens were and who the people were.
Oh.
But I love naming chickens.
Yeah, but it's a charming part of the book.
That's what your problem is. You won't want to eat chicken if it had a name.
Right.
You've done something. You're the co-founder and co-director of the Delta Prize for Global Understanding. What is that prize? Who do you recognize?
1996, a friend of mine, Gary Birch, who is director of the Center for International Trade and Security at the University of Georgia, came to me and said, let's have the University of Georgia give a Peace Prize. And I thought that was a great idea. And I was interacting with Delta Airlines Foundation for another grant and asked them if they'd like to support an international peace prize. And I'm giving you the short version, but they said yes, and they gave us all almost $1 million to get it started. And we gave it the first year to Jimmy and Rosalind Carter, the Carter Center, and the second year to Archbishop Tutu, third year to Gorbachev, and we've given it to other distinguished people. The prize has been discontinued. When I retired and Gary retired, nobody seemed to want to take over the responsibility, and the president of the university then converted it into a professorship.
Oh.
But we had a good time, and we met these people, and met marvelous people. I'm a real fan of Jimmy Carter, and Gorbachev, and Archbishop Tutu, and some of the other people.
Gosh.
Do you know? Are you not only a fan, but are you a friend?
No, I can't say I'm a friend. I mean, I had dinner with them.
Wow.
So we were friendly over the table. But, no, I can't say Gorbachev is my buddy. But,
Do you know?
I wanted to say one thing about writing fiction is that you can get your ideas across in a way that is fun for the reader. And so it's a little bit like teaching, but the reader doesn't know you're teaching. I love
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the fascinating part about your book.
So we don't want to give away too much about it toward the end, but the fact that the bird is lost made me think of a story here in Florida. During Bike Week, there was a guy with a macaw. And
I love macaws.
And somebody stole it. He was a biker, and somebody stole it. But the bird was equipped with the chip so that people, a veterinarian or somebody could tell who the rightful owner is. So hopefully the guy will get his bird back.
Oh, yeah. Well, my bird never gets out of the house. Well, she does go to visit. When I get invited to dinner parties, I'm often asked to bring Cosmo. So she goes to dinner parties. She loves company. She says, we're going to have company. But she also knows her phone number because the answering machine was in her room for a long time. So she says, you have reached 549-6243.
Oh, no.
Please leave a message. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
That's too funny. It makes me want to get a bird.
Oh.
Wow.
They're high maintenance intellectually, but they're delightful fun. They're affectionate.
Well, your book definitely is a page turner, and it really is.
Well,
and
thank you, Robin.
It's more than an enjoyable read. It's very thought provoking too, because I like going there and putting all the clues together in my head, trying to figure out who did it.
That's why I like writing murder mysteries. It makes the reader work a little bit, and I think that's satisfying to the reader. But writing them is like putting together a puzzle.
Yeah, because you have different stories going on. It's not just from beginning to end with one particular story. You have the different ones going on.
That's right.
I have a copy of the book right here. It's called Fairfield's Auction, a Witherspoon murder mystery. If you'd like the copy that was sent to me, call right now, 622-9622, and if I pick your name off of the screen here, you'll be the one who gets the book. The rest of us have to go buy it. Betty Jean, before we run out of time, give us some websites.
You can buy it at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and probably some other online bookstores.
Okay, let me give this one away. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
Good morning, Larry. This is Kathy.
Kathy, you've got it. You wait a minute. You had a bird, don't you, or at the farmer's
At the
farm?
326 market.
I have a cockatiel.
Oh, you do. Does it talk?
No.
No.
But we'll call the dogs in from the backyard for me with my whistle.
Well, Kathy, the book will be waiting here for you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Betty Jean, you also have your own personal website too.
Yes, it is at. Let's see. It's called. Where is it? It's Betty Jean Craige.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
.com, yeah.
Okay, and for those who need to know the spelling of Craige, it's just like it sounds, Craig, and then add an E. So Craige.
Yeah, and add an E. Craige with an E.
Betty Jean Craige with an E.com. Betty Jean, thank you for being on the air. Definitely come back with the next book, or if you happen, you're not too far away. If you happen to be in Central Florida, let us know and come into the studio.
Thank you very much, Larry and Robin.
You're welcome. That's a great interview. It was fun. All right, we'll take a little break and be right back.
Thanks.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Fox News confirms that ISIS has taken a hit. A senior defense official saying that U.S. Special Ops forces have killed the number 2 person in ISIS during a raid early Thursday morning.
He was slated to replace Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi if he were captured or killed. So this is a man by the name of Abu Afri. He was on the U.S. Treasury's terror list. There was a reward for $7 million for his capture or arrest.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin. Secretary of State John Kerry saying that the militant group is being decimated.
Their leadership is being eliminated from the battlefield. Their revenues are being taken away.
Kerry paying his respects in Brussels. A Massachusetts man who was at one time in possession of the gun the Boston Marathon bombers used to kill a police officer has pled guilty to possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Fox News, we report. You decide.
What's the next big event you want to go to? Is it hockey? Basketball? Baseball's right around the corner. Maybe it's a concert. Whatever it is, you can bet that someone is going to pay less than you for the same seats. How? They have an in. But now you do too, thanks to ScoreBig.com. Only at ScoreBig can you name a ticket price that's guaranteed to be below box office. Up to 60% off for the events you want to see. Basketball, baseball, hockey, concerts, and more. Here's how they do it. 40% of all tickets go unsold. ScoreBig works directly with teams and performers to get the best deals on those tickets and pass the savings along to you. Next time you want to buy tickets, go to ScoreBig.com first. Your tickets are guaranteed to be authentic, shipping is free, and you'll never get the surprise fees you see on the other ticketing sites.
If you go to scorebig.com right now, click on the microphone and enter promo code 400, you'll save an extra $20 off your first ticket purchase. That's scorebig.com, promo code 400. Scorebig.com, promo code 400.
Here are today's headlines from The Source. WOCA. An Ocala man was arrested Wednesday after deputies say he pointed a gun at kids for ringing his doorbell. The Marion County Sheriff's Office said deputies were called to the 5700th block of Southwest 89th Street for the report of an altercation involving a firearm. Deputies said the 3 teens were in the area running up to houses and ringing doorbells. Investigators said 46-year-old Todd Lee Davis confronted 2 of the teens, a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy, and allegedly yelled, "Stop or I'll shoot." The sheriff's office believes Davis grabbed the 14-year-old boy by the arm, pointed a gun at his head, and asked whether he was the one who rang his doorbell. When the boy said he didn't do it, Davis then allegedly turned to the 13-year-old girl and pointed the gun at her. Deputies said the teens were able to get away from Davis and informed their parents about what happened. Deputies said Davis does not have a concealed weapons permit. The sheriff's office said a deputy found Davis a short time later at a bar and placed him under arrest. He is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of battery, and 1 count of carrying a concealed firearm. He is being held at the Marion County Jail on $7,000 bond. Retirees continue their move to the Central Florida community known as the Villages, making the area the fastest growing metro in the U.S. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, the population growth rate for the Villages was 4.3% from the period of July 2014 to July of 2015. Officials say that since 2010, the population of the Villages has nearly doubled. It now stands at roughly 119,000 people. Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Punta Gorda, both in the Southwest Florida area, were the only other Florida cities that made the top 10 for population growth. In terms of pure numbers, South Florida ranked 7th in the nation for population, and the greater Orlando area ranked 10th. The South Florida region of Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties crossed the 6 million threshold for the first time. They were on the list of threatened species, but officials at the State Wildlife Commission say Florida now has an abundance of bears. Dr. Thomas Eason says there's been a significant increase in Florida's black bear population over the past 13 years. He said statewide bears are abundant, populations are strong and robust and growing, adding that we've seen a 60% increase from our estimates in the early 2000s, unquote. And that does not include the bear cubs. Eason says there are about 2,000 1,000 born every year, but only half of them survive to see their first birthday. Officials say that despite concerns over last year's hunt, the numbers indicate that the Florida black bear is back from the brink. Easton, when asked about the possibility of another bear hunt this fall, said they had not decided. We've been waiting to get these updated population estimates, he said, going on to say we're going to continue to evaluate all of that. A new report says Floridians have paid more than $2.5 billion in fees to pay lenders over the past decade. Brandon Coleman with the Center for Responsible Lending says the short-term loans that get you from one paycheck to the next include sky-high interest rates. The average loan was for $399.35. The average fee was $42.73. And assuming a 14 term, that would work out to an APR of 278%. He described as outrageously high. Payday lender to charge up to 10% in fees, and since these loans only last a couple of weeks, the annual percentage rate can add up to more than 300%. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. We'll see clouds and breaks of sun this Friday with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around. Any thunderstorm can produce hard downpours and damaging wind gusts, the high 81 to 85. For Friday night, mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm, mainly early, though 66 to 70. Saturday, mostly cloudy with a shower and thunderstorm or two, especially in the afternoon, the high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala's Got Talent, happening in May, but if you want to get in on the running, you need to apply. March 26th from 10 to 6 p.m. and the location is at Mojo on Southwest 17th Street. Do you have what it takes to shine and stand out in what you do? Well, there's only one first place winner for Ocala's Got Talent, and it could be you. Audition fee is just $25 and spectator fee is $5. This helps the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. Questions, call 352-595-7100. 595-7100.
This is Jan from Palm Garden, and Wednesday, March 30th is Doctor's Day. It is with great appreciation for the tireless dedication and professionalism of all the doctors we work with to honor and celebrate them on Doctor's Day. Right, Jennifer?
Right, Jan. And as the executive director of Palm Garden, I would be remiss if I didn't single out our own medical directors from this past year, Anish Khanna, Eladio Diegas, and Sig Clevenger. So we wish them a happy Doctor's Day on March 30th, and thank you from Palm Garden.
Today in Florida Ag News, I'm a Southeast AgNet. Next week, USDA's National Agriculture Statistics Service will release their annual spring planting intentions report, giving us a better idea of how many acres of which crops farmers intend to plant this spring. Chief of the Crops Branch of NASS, Lance Honig, says there's a lot of anticipation for this report.
We survey about 84,000 producers across the country, roughly the first 2 weeks of March. We actually send the forms out just before the end of February. We give folks a little bit of time to send them back in if they choose to do so. If not, we start picking up the phone and calling them and getting those forms completed for us.
Those efforts have ended, and now the NASS staff is compiling the numbers from farmers across all 50 states for their planting intentions of about 30 different crops. And as we all know, what farmers may plan to plant at this time could very easily change between now and the time seed goes into the ground. And Honig says there are so many factors that could change these plans.
Whether it's economic or weather, all of those things come into play, so there's going to be changes. In fact, the report itself could be a contributor to those changes. Once they see what everyone else is thinking, suddenly your plans could change as to what you think you want to plant this year, and in the meantime, prices have shifted. Maybe the weather isn't quite what you thought it was going to be. So there's always going to be changes.
But again, the annual spring planting report from NASS will be released at noon Eastern Time next Thursday, March 31st.
As beef and dairy producers, we are committed to producing the safest, highest quality food for folks here in the U.S. and around the world. This is Baxter Black, here to remind you that your Beef Quality Assurance Program plays a big role in leading the way to identifying the best practices, like cattle handling techniques, to produce safe, wholesome beef from pasture to plate. So learn more by visiting BQA.org. Paid for by the Beef Checkoff.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
The day has arrived for the annual golf tournament between rival clubs. Whether golf is your game or not, you're bound to enjoy Fox on the Fairway. Live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater, this hilarious farce pits two rival country clubs against each other in the annual tournament. It's a competition filled with romance, screwball comedy, and a surprise ending. Any way you slice it, Fox on the Fairway is a winner. On stage now through April 17th. For tickets and information, check OcalaCivicTheater.com or call 352-236-2274. Don't miss it.
Plans for lunch Sunday?
Mom and Dads, have a quality time lunch date with your little one.
Honey Baked Ham and Cafe is going to help.
Each Sunday through Mother's Day,